Hello, and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. My name is Patrick Martin with Wingaro. I'm a business development manager. And today we're partnering with CDO Magazine, MIT, CDO, IQ, and the International Society of Chief Data Officers in a series of interviews. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Ivan Herrero Bartolome, Chief Data Officer for Intercorp. It's very nice to speak with you today, Ivan.
Thank you, Patrick. Nice to speak to you.
Your diverse background and experiences are very impressive. You've worked as a consultant for Deloitte, spent time in academia. You co-founded the CDO Latin America, and now are the Chief Data Officer at Intercorp. Please tell us about your career experiences and how they prepared you for your role as Chief Data Officer at Intercorp.
Oh, that's a good question. Steve Jobs some kind of told something about this when he said that you can only connect the dots when you look backwards. And many times I feel that it's like I've been getting ready during all my life to deliver the job I'm doing here at Intercorp as Chief Data Officer of the group. I'm a telecommunication engineer, so I have a technical background, but I started my career at Deloitte working very close to the business. So that helped me understand the business needs and be very focused on the business outcomes and how to drive value for the business. And I think that's a key characteristic of a chief data officer. We should always be focused on how to drive value for the business. But also I had several different experiences more related to data and analytics in other companies. And along the journey, I studied a master's degree in business intelligence and big data. So I think it's been quite a journey, and everything I've done during my past steps of my career is helping me actually to do my job now at Intercorp.
Excellent. Very good. Yeah, I truly believe that value creation is very key for CDO to be successful. So great point.
Yeah.
Your role is a very transformational role. The term transformational is used often and means different things to a lot of different people. What does it mean to you and for your organization? And further to that, how do you evangelize and affect data-driven change within Intercorp?
Yeah, it's funny because when we talk about transformation, we could agree that transformation means change. But I don't know why when we talk about terms such as digital transformation, if you look around, there are many companies doing like digital things or digitalizing their interfaces and building like websites or mobile apps or managing their social networks. So a lot of digital stuff, I would say. But if you really take a deep dive into those companies, are they really transforming themselves? I think that many times the answer is not. And the same happens when we talk about the analytics transformation. Now there are a lot of companies doing some analytical stuff and integrating analytics and AI into their processes. But is that enough? Can they tell they're transforming themselves? Are they actually going through a transformation path? And I'm not sure. And it's funny because we keep on talking about transformation, but instead of focusing on the transformation itself, on changing the way we operate, it seems that we more often focus ourselves on the adjective of the subject. So it's both in analytics or in digital, but not so much in transformation. And I don't know if you agree with that, but
that's a very interesting perspective, and I completely understand with what you're saying, because yeah, it's a journey, not a destination, and a lot of people just get hooked on the destination. And to your point, it true transformation or change is the process of getting there. So that it's repeatable and it's something that you can just continue to grow upon. So no, that was a very, very good point.
It's sometimes I reflect on this, and it seems to me like it's about our human nature and the way our minds work. Like, we need, as professionals, we don't want to be static or to feel that we are not changing. So we need to embrace these transformation waves. But at the same time, our human minds don't like transformation, don't like change. Change brings uncertainty. So it's like somehow we try to convince ourselves that we are transforming our companies, that we are doing something, but without actually going there with actual enthusiasm. It's like, yeah, we're gonna try to transform our companies, but without actually transforming completely, because that kind of scares us.
That's true as well. As the CDO, you establish long-term strategy, vision for the organization. Obviously, and you mentioned it in your opening, that value creation, building value is what's important. Return on investment is always a critical success factor, but sometimes it's hard to quantify or measure the value and attribute success when the efforts may not directly impact the bottom line. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a tough question, and it's something that I've been thinking of a lot, because I've been here in the Corp for the last 2 years and 4 months now, and there's the point, especially at the beginning, during the first months, even the first year, that this you have to prove some value, but you're building the capabilities, or so it's not easy sometimes to prove short-term value. Like, everything pushes you to show some short-term value, and the easiest way to do that is just probably hiring some consultants, make some small use case, integrating AI and analytics in an operating process. But again, it's something that we have to do. But if we only do the things that are easy to measure, because you can always measure the impact of an analytics model by performing an A/B test. But if we only do that, if we only do the things that are easy to measure, I think we are missing a huge opportunity in actually transforming our organizations. But that's harder to accomplish, harder to measure. So we normally don't have the right incentives as CDOs, and I think we should be change agents. We don't have the right incentives to go for a long-term transformation. And I think that's a common trap for CDOs. I resist doing so. I try to think more on the long term and how to balance some short-term initiatives. But it's a big challenge to work on the long term while you have to prove value on the short term, and how to measure what you're doing, because you have to measure it somehow. And I think that probably the best way to do so is not focusing on measuring the final outcome, because it's probably harder to measure, but instead focusing on some proxies that may be easier to measure and that can prove to other stakeholders that we're progressing toward our final goal. And if we prove some progress in these capabilities, then we are going to achieve greater outcomes. But it's a real challenge.